After getting his lap back, Chick Hicks would bump Lightning McQueen for the second time, 100 laps after he did so earlier. And then Ricky Hoodson would wreck Greg Candyman on lap 334 despite still being in the lead. But Chick Hicks would take the lead from him on lap 342 and lead into lap 349. And he would say this. But meanwhile, Wendy would push Ricky Hoodson into the wall one lap after Chick took the lead. And then Ruby Nightcar would help Johnny Blamer get some of his laps back at the same time. And Rusty Wheelhouse would wreck himself while trying to wreck Chick Hicks on lap 344. And then Lightning McQueen, who was down laps earlier after getting bumped by Chick Hicks, would get back on the lead lap. And then the King would luckily take the lead from Chick Hicks and lead until the end of the race. But after he took the lead, Johnny Blamer managed to get back onto the lead lap. And then he would say this to Ricky Hoodson before sideswiping him on the final lap. But then Ruby Nightcar would shove Chick Hicks on the final lap and then push Johnny Blamer forward on the final lap, which causes him to take the lead from the King. And then Bob Cutlass would say this, and then Johnny Blamer would miraculously win the 2005 Homestead 350, getting his very first win and also his third ever successful finish. And Ruby Nightcar would also finish the race for the first time this season by finishing second. The King would finish third, Lightning McQueen would finish fourth, Wendy in her first start this season will finish fifth, ahead of me in sixth, Lucas 95 will finish seventh, Sonic OMT 8th, Sonic EXE 9th, the same as his number, and Chick Hicks will round out the top 10. Ricky Slud would be the last racer to finish on the lead lap this race, finishing 35th. And after the win, Lightning McQueen, Strip Leathers, Dale Earnhardt Jr., me, Wendy, Lucas 95, the Sonic Brothers, Jeff Corbett, Rusty Wheelhouse, Ernie Gearson, Matt Karzeth, Carl Edwards, Mark Carton, Greg Beeple, Kevin Shiftwright, Chuck Armstrong, Tony Gasworth, Paul Lingus, Greg Candyman, Ryan Newcar, Billy Oilchanger, Winford Bradford Rutherford, Elliot Draftler, Casey Corner, his teammate Jeremy Carfield, Bobby Carboni, Dale Carrett, Joel Braycheck, Jeff Burton, Kevin Carvick, Sterling Carlin, Casey Gears, Jamie McCarry, Michael Cartrip, Ricky Slug, last racer on the lead lap, Brian Vickars, all congratulate Johnny Blamer on his wins. It was Sage Vanderspin, Paunchy Wipeout congratulated Johnny on his win, not surprising. Other racers that didn't even qualify this race, like James Clean Air, Claude Scruggs, Misty Motocross, Boyd Mulvihill, Gerald Leadfoot, Diana Leadfoot, Darren Leadfoot, Jimmy Speedcar, Joel McQueen, and even Manny Flywheel. Kenny Shiftwright congratulated him as well, and so did Bill Racelot from Lightning McQueen's, Casey Corner's pit stall. Frosty Rotor also congratulates Johnny Blamer from the hospital. And Piston Cup fans would also cheer Johnny Blamer's name. Ruby Nightcar also had something to say about Johnny Blamer's win, and so did Johnny's friend Moray Clutchburn. And as a result of all of this, Johnny Blamer became so overcome with emotion that he straight up cries in victory lane. Unfortunately, not everybody was happy. Todd Marcus and Ricky Hoodson both had some mean things to say to Johnny Blamer. And Piston Cup fans would rightfully boo Ricky Hoodson and Todd Marcus. And Johnny Blamer would say this, defending Johnny Blamer. But Ricky Hoodson would say this. That is very disrespectful. Chick Hicks also isn't happy either. And then a tire fight would break out between all of these cars after the race. And during this tire fight, Ruby and Johnny would cry. But luckily, Piston Cup security would break up this tire fight. And because of their actions this race, both Ricky Hoodson and Todd Marcus will be suspended for 5 races. Now, let's see the results of the race. I already mentioned the top 10. Dale Earnhardt Jr. missed out on the top 10 against with Jeff Corvette, Winford Bradford Rutherford, Tony Gaspar, and Carl Edwards. Finishing 16th this race is Ernie Gearson, ahead of his teammates, Matt Karseth, finishing in the same position as number. Greg Beeflin, Mark Carden, and Sage Vandersman round out the top 20. Casey Corner, who finished 21st this race, punched Wipeout 22nd, his first start of the season. Joe Brakecheck finishes 23rd. Ryan Newcar and Kevin Carvick will finish 24th and 25th respectively this race. Jamie McCarr and Casey Years, after losing their teammate, will finish 26th and 27th. Another set of teammates, Chuck Armstrong and Kevin Shreveport, 28th and 29th, and Jeff Burton, the jumper, rounds up the top 30, beating out Jeremy Carfield. Dale Carton, Elliott Draxler, another set of teammates, will finish 32nd and 33rd. Michael Cartrip, 34th, and Ricky Slood finishes 35th this race. Ricky Hoodson, due to wrecking on the final lap, will finish 36th. Rusty Wheelhouse will finish 37th. Candyman at 38th. Hutchburn 39th. And rounding up top 40 is Todd Marcus, who luckily will not be racing for a while. Sterling Carlin misses out on the top 40. Kurt Busch tire, after getting wrecked by Sonic OMT, will finish 42nd, ahead of the two rivals of Eugene Karbareski and Ken Schrader. Billy Oil Change will round up the top 45. Hauling is at an abysmal race this race, finishing 46th. Same with Kyle Busch tire, who is 5 positions underneath his older brother. And here's the bottom 5 with Brian Vickers, Bobby Carboni, and Scott Windows, who sadly will not be racing again for the rest of the season. But that concludes 1/4 of the 2005 Piston Cup season. Next race will be the 11th race of the season, so stay tuned for the videos covering that race.